they do say, lads, the hottest love has the coldest ending. And Mesut Ozil joined Arsenal, and it was in a blaze of glory. And he was that guy. And Mesut Ozil could assist anybody anywhere in the world at any point. And he's a fabulous player. I do think Mesut Ozil peaked a little bit at the World Cup. Once you reach that mountain, it's very hard to maintain a certain level of hunger. But he's still a very good player. Now, well, it looks like he's on his way to Fenerbahce. His contract is out in 6 months anyway, so if he doesn't go in January, he's gone in the summer. But Mesut Ozil, his circumstances are very interesting, which is why I wanted to bring it up. Now, obviously on this podcast, we don't shy away from anything, including political storms, as you probably saw earlier on in this podcast. With Mesut Ozil, he, as a footballer, he struggled to fit into formations, and, there was question marks about his attitude and his ability to track back. And, you could have him in home games where you're trying to break down a team that's got 11 men behind the ball. But when you're away from home, he's not really the guy you want. There's not a lot of fight in him. So there were question marks about him already. But then the incident occurred, or the political incident occurred, when Mesut Ozil spoke out about China. Now, China are a superpower, and their treatment of Muslims is, well, look, to say it's questionable would be wrong. It's downright ridiculous. It's disgusting. Now, Mesut Ozil, as a Muslim, a very proud Muslim man, he came out and he spoke about their treatment. And he basically, tore into China. Now, China and the Asian market is massive for the Premier League. That is big, big bucks. And all of a sudden, you've got a moral conflict, because Mesut Ozil is speaking out about China, and the Chinese are like, well, look, if you keep speaking out about us, we're not going to give you any money. And Arsenal had a decision to make. Do we keep him in the side, or do we sort of drop him? Now, the general consensus is Mesut Ozil, whilst his footballing ability in certain games could be questioned, he was dropped because of that China incident. That's from what I gather from listening to groups of Arsenal fans online, and some pretty some well-versed Arsenal fans. I just wanted your take on that, lads. I mean, the Mesut Ozil story is coming to an end. He's been a fabulous player. What do you think really went on there? Do you think it was maybe a mixture of the two, or was it one or the other?
I don't really buy it, I mean, I think with Mesut Ozil, I think there's been a collapse of that relationship between him, the managers he's played under, and the club. And I think that's been happening for a long time. I think that's been happening since the Unai Emery days in 2019. And I think it's just been one thing after another. And I think if we look at the Gonosaurus Saga at the start of the season, I think with him saying, I will pay Gonosaurus' wages for as long as I remain at the club, looking back on it now, it looks like something that he's trying to sort of almost drive the club into giving him a contract or playing him or something. And it just looks like he's trying to sort of use things as a power play. And
do you think that was quite petty in terms of what he did?
Possibly. We don't know the motivations to these things. But look, I think games are being played, and I think Mikel Arteta would have made it clear to him at the start of his managerial career at Arsenal, you're probably not for me. And we can discuss at length, as we have before, whether that was right or wrong of Arteta, and whether Ozil could add to that Arsenal squad. But it's happened, and I don't believe it's happened because he's spoken out against the mistreatment of Muslims, because Arsenal's fan base there's thousands and thousands of them